2E. Great. So interest rate parity. The word parity means what here? The same. The word parity means the same. That if we have two countries whose interest rates are equal, whose interest rates are the same, then automatically the exchange rate will not keep on fluctuating. We are saying here that if two countries have the same interest rates, the same interest rates, then the exchange rate between those two countries, the exchange rate will remain constant, The exchange rate will remain constant, i.e. forward exchange rate, equals what here? Spot exchange rate. Forward exchange rate equals spot exchange rate, Yani, interest rates is among those factors that normally make exchange rates to keep on doing what here? Fluctuating. Like right now, believe you me, if these interest rates in Kenya hit like they used to be 28%, 30%, I can see the dollar going straight away to cost us around 140 Kenya shillings. 140 Kenya shillings. And if it goes that high and we still bulldoze and continue being a net importer, then we are going to suffer heavily. Everything in this case here will really be crazily expensive. I even actually pity the next president of Kenya. I pity the next president of Kenya. If I were among those four people, I would really step down. Because anybody who is going to take over, they're going to take over problems. You'll see things happening the Obama way, where you start in this case, you're having everything white. And say 1 year. 1 year. International disaster. Yeah. So when these interest rates keep on, in this case here, fluctuating, when they fluctuate like that, the exchange rate automatically fluctuates. But for example, if the interest rate in Uganda is 10% and the interest rate in Kenya is 10%, and they remain like that, for example, for some period, then automatically where we begin from as an exchange rate between the two countries shall not change. That exchange rate is going to become constant like that. So what are we saying, ladies and gentlemen? We are saying something very important, that this forward exchange rate forward exchange rate equals a spot exchange rate into 1 plus interest of country B, whatever, plus 1 plus interest of country C. Andika kwanza paka hapo, ndio kuonyesha this F stands for forward exchange rate. This S is spot exchange rate. That anytime you want to get forward exchange rate, you always take the spot exchange rate into 1 plus interest in country B, interest of country B, all over 1 plus interest of country who? Country C. 1 plus interest of country C. 1 plus interest of country C. So you guys, have you been able to write this thing nicely? I'll explain, but have you been able to write it? Have you been able to put this formula down? Great. So please, even this one, write it in full. This is the interest of country B, and this is the interest of country C. Write it in full. Because later on, I'll always get students who call me in the middle of the night, asking me, especially early in the morning. Early in the morning, students think that I don't sleep. Yeah, they call me early in the morning asking me this INT. Does it stand for international? Does it stand for international? Does it stand for international? No, it is interest of country B, and then we have interest of countries. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can know tonight how to know which is country B, which is country C, then you are a genius. We need to stop teaching immediately. How do we get to know which country is the numerator country, which country is the denominator country? For us to be able to know that, ladies and gentlemen, we normally look at the spot rate. Look at this spot rate. The spot rate which is given, ladies and gentlemen, here, the spot rate which is given here, it has been given as 38 Kenya shillings over, Uganda. It is Uganda shillings over what here, somebody? Over Kenya shillings. Yeah, Uganda shillings all over. This is like all over. So Uganda shilling equal Jew. Kenya shilling they equal base like that. Right? Shake your hand and check the spot rate. Uongo. Hapa hakuna shaking hand. Nitakwambia Lucy wewe wache maneno. Hakuna kushake hand hapa. Nitakwambia tusipoteze network hapa. So ukiangalia the way this has been expressed, Uganda shilling iko juu na Kenya shilling iko chini. So kumaanisha straight away, ladies and gentlemen, Uganda iko juu. So country B is Uganda. Country B is Uganda and country C is who? Is Kenya. Country C is Kenya. So the top country, as per the position of the Uganda currency, the top country becomes Uganda. And then, of course, we have the denominator country becoming who? Becoming Kenya. The moment you understand that, we should break this particular what here session, because you guys are geniuses. Now, my great students, listen and listen to me very well. Please listen to me. Listen and listen to me very well. Assuming here, don't write this. Assuming our spot is 38, which it is actually, assuming now that the interest rate in Kenya or rather in Uganda is 10%. I'm just making an assumption. I'm not even doing proration here. I'm just making an assumption here. All over 1 plus interest rate in Kenya also happens to be 10%, 0.1. So if the two countries have the same rates of interest, what is going to happen? This will be 38 times 1.1 over 1.1. So this will disappear. So meaning that F will be exactly equal to 38, which was our spot rate. So we are saying something very important, that if two countries have the same rates of interest, the exchange rate, which is 38, will remain constant. It shall not keep on fluctuating, i.e. the forward exchange rate will be exactly equal to the spot exchange rate, But of course, ladies and gentlemen, you know that because of sovereignty, these countries are quite independent, and because of having different policies here and there is no way the interest rates can ever be the same. The interest rates between these countries here will always keep on fluctuating depending on the aggressiveness of the leaders of countries, right? Corruption levels in the countries, etc., right? So because these interest rates will keep on dancing, fluctuating, then automatically we expect, ladies and gentlemen, to have our exchange rates doing what here? Changing. We expect to have our exchange rates changing. Now listen and listen to me very well. Now here we are. We are trying to look for the forward rate. Why are we looking for the forward rate? It's because it is not given. The forward rate is not given. So in that regard, my forward rate here will be equal to the spot rate, which is 38, into 1 plus interest of Uganda. Interest of Uganda has been given here 30%. But remember that this 30% is annualized. It's for a whole year. And our friend 値was to receive this money after how many months? Our friend 値was to receive this money after how many months? Somebody remind us. Was to receive this money after 3 months. So then this has to be time prorated. So times 3 over 12. All over 1 plus interest rate in Kenya. Interest rate in Kenya, ladies and gentlemen, here, interest rate in Kenya is 0.14, 14%. Again, times 3 over 12. So here you have to go quite a little bit slowly to ensure that you put things in context. First of all, solve whatever we have in brackets. Ladies and gentlemen, and really give me the numerator in brackets. Numerator, what do we have? Can somebody help me here? 1 plus 0.3 times 3 over 12. Somebody help me the figure here for the numerator. Somebody give me the figure for the numerator. Somebody give me the figure for the numerator. Macharia tells me it is 1.05, 1.075. So please ensure, there are students who are not very good with body mass. You'll get some students saying 1 plus 0.3, that's 1.3, and then they come and multiply times 3 over 12. And then after exams, they call me, they tell me, Mwalimu, you know what? You taught us very well, and I'm so sure this time round I'll pass. But when exams come, they come like this. Then the students will keep on telling people that, you know what, there must be somebody who bewitched me. How can I clear all the papers of CPA and then I have one paper called AFM that I'm not really part? It's because you're not good in body mass. And when we give you a chance here to try doing the multiplications here, right, with us, you're not doing that. And when you get answers which are not correct, you don't even put up your hands. Don't try to ask questions there. You always get issues. But I think these guys are correct. They're telling me that the correct answer is supposed to be 1035, 1035, 1035. Let me see what the others have as well. So they're telling me here it is 10. The new, first of all, remind me the denominator, numerator. Denominator, I've already seen 1035. Denominator, I've seen 10. Numerator is 1075. Thank you very much. So remember the decimals. Remember the decimals like that. Now do me a favor. So please go ahead and say 38 times this figure divided by this. 38 times this divided by this. What is the final answer? 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 So the final answer that I'm being given here is 39.469. 39.469. Are they cows? We must get used to currencies. And I told you to always reason, to always think like you're an international person who is traveling, who knows currencies. So that 9.469, who? Uganda shillings per Kenya shilling. Thank you so much. Uganda shillings per Kenya shilling. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember 𝐴𝐶𝐷. What amount is 𝐴𝐶𝐷 waiting for? 𝐴𝐶𝐷 is to receive how much? Is to receive how much in terms of Uganda shillings? 𝐴𝐶𝐷 was to receive how much? 𝐴𝐶𝐷 was to receive how much? 5 million Uganda shillings, like that. Uganda shillings. So hapa ndio wanarumia watoto wa Mungu. Watoto wa Mungu hapa unawahurumia zaidi. Ashapata exchange rate which is forward, akona amount. So from nowhere unaanza kumpata ameandika in big titles the role of the bank. Unampata anaanza kushake mkono. Woi. Hiyo kitu hata role of the bank hakuna. Kama hakuna range, hakuna kitu kama kushake mkono, hakuna kitu kama role of the bank. Here, whenever you're given one figure like this, that this examiner has eased the things for you. The only thing you need to do is to come and do what here? Exchange. The only thing you need to come and do is to come and do what here? Somebody exchange. Exchange. So exchange. So do we divide the two when exchanging or multiply? Do we divide or multiply? We divide because of what here? Like terms. Like terms, you kill them through division. If you try, in this case, you're multiplying this and this, you'll end up getting Uganda shillings squared. And the moment you do that, you'll get very serious whips of Mr. Museveni. Very serious whips. It's not possible for you to get Uganda shillings. Similar currency, I love that. So divide. So in exchanging, it'll be 5 million Uganda shillings divided by 39.469, which will really make this gentleman called 𝐴𝐶𝐷 very, very angry, because he had thought that he had become a millionaire. He is a millionaire in Uganda. In Kenya here, he is not a millionaire. So in Kenya, he'll get 126,683, valueless, yes, 126,683. 126,683, like that. Please note to write the currency. This is what here, the famous case. The famous case, KES. The famous case, Kenya what year? Shillings. 682 and 683, it is a one and the same. One and the same. That is one and the same. One and the same. Charity amesema, hi teacher. Charity, do you want to ask a question? Do you want to ask a question? Charity Baraza, can I unmute you? Charity, can I unmute you? Ask a question. Thousandaire. Yes, not millionaire. Not millionaire. Or Charity just wanted to say hi to Mwalimu. Maybe you wanted to say hi to Mwalimu. What if it was 5 years? What do we do in the period issue? Remember, when you talk of money market forward contracts, ladies and gentlemen, basically they're supposed to be what year? Short term. They're supposed to be short term, 1 year or less. But should you get a crazy examiner, then you know straight away that this is per annum. So you need to come and multiply this with 5 years. Also this one here 5 years. Right? Right? Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want to try you guys. I would want to try you guys with one question here, which is a very good question. Which is a very good question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what if you got something like this? So now here we have this lady called 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. Lucy Alan. So Lucy Alan is a Kenyan, of course, based in Kenya. Is a Kenyan who wants to import a V8 worth, in this case here, $1 million US. That will be very heavy. V8, no. Talk of what here? No, it can't be 100. Talk of 600 or 600 US dollars. A very used one, eh? No, 60,000. Sorry, 60,000. 60,000 US dollars. That is a very used V8 in 3 months' time. Talk of 4 months' time, so that a student doesn't think that this 3 months is a part of the formula. In 4 months' time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these people have given us the spot exchange rate. So the spot exchange rate that we have here is 117 to 118 Kenya shillings per dollar. The ladies are Kenyan. And then they'll come and they give you inflation. Talk over inflation in Kenya, which is 21%. And then we have inflation in USA, quite a good country, 5%. So we are required, ladies and gentlemen, here to determine the worth of the vehicle, in Kenya shillings. If Lucy hedges using forward contract, if she hedges using forward contract. Yeah, thank you so much. So we shall use inflation parity or purchasing power parity. Inflation parity or purchasing power parity. Thank you so much. And it borrows heavily from this formula. So the first thing that I will do, ladies and gentlemen, here is to get the forward exchange. Lakini hapa sasa unajua lazima ukuwe mwanafunzi mjanja. Kwa sababu examiner Lucy amekupatia exchange rate mbili. Amekupatia range. So lazima ujue ni range gani ambayo utatumia. Lazima ujue ni namba gani utatumia from the beginning to the end. Lazima ukuje ucancel moja. Ndio uweze kujua ni gani uta cancel. Lazima utigize mkono ujue ni gani buy. So before I shake my hand, could you kindly, in this case here, come and give us, ladies and gentlemen, the buy. Which one is the buy here? Which one is the buy? Moreka is trying to call me. Today, I don't know what is happening. Students are calling my name and they're not asking questions. They're not asking questions at all. Oh, I adjust the camera. Okay. Okay. You mean you're not able to see totally? You mean you guys are not able to see totally? Are you able to see my board? How comes, Moreka? Because from my side, I'm able to see it very well. Yeah, from my side, at least I can see. I think, Moreka, it is your internet. From my side, when I look at my screen, it's not bad. It's not bad. So in this case here, they told me that Lucy here is a Kenyan. Lucy is a Kenyan. So in this case here, Kenya shilling is our currency, and the Kenya shilling being our currency, it is on the left side. So if it's on the left side, we shall do what here? We shall buy here. The left figure becomes buy, and then this other figure becomes the sell. And then there is one thing, ladies and gentlemen, that I've seen already a question from Charity. I'll be able to address your question, Charity, right now. Thank you so much. I'll be able to address your question right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have buy and sell. But now there is something that you have not told me. In this question, because of the range aspect, you must give me the role of the bank. There must be a bank which is going to be an intermediary. There must be a bank which is going to be an intermediary. So what role will the bank play here? Will the bank sell or buy? Will the bank be selling or buying? One thing that I have to recognize, ladies and gentlemen, I've taught this topic to very many groups. This group is a special group. You seem to be really understanding this thing, meaning that I'm not a bad teacher as well. I'm not a bad teacher as well. I'm trying. This is a very technical topic. The only students that I know who are not very happy are the students who are not watching these videos. Students who are not watching these videos, the students who are saying that they are very, very busy at their workplaces. Now they have what here? They have problems. They have problems. We shall overcome. Now listen and listen to me very well. When Lucy Allen gets the vehicle, she's importing. So she'll have to part with money. So these for $660,000 US, right, will be paid. It's a payable. This is a payable. This is a payable. This is a payable. And if it's a payable, then it is foreign payment. Borrow local. Local means what here? Sales. Local means sales. Local means sales. It's a payment. I don't know whether you guys are able to see. You know, when you're importing something, it means you'll be paying for that good. So it's a payment question. And if it's a payment question, remember our general rule for payments. For payment, if you remember, generally, receivable, the bank buys. Payable, the bank does what he sells. The bank sells. The bank sells. So in this particular case, the bank is going to sell. So meaning that as we move forward, this 117 should be kicked off right away, taken amnai. I shall not never be talking about it. The figure that I have, which is going to be used throughout, is the selling. 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 Great. And if that is the case, then ladies and gentlemen, this is what I am going to have. This is what I'm going to have. There is nowhere where I'm seeing these guys giving me the forward exchange rate. They haven't given it to me. So I have to look for it. So how do I look for it? So on top of this question that I've just given you, I would want you guys to go there on top of this question. Please write a title there. Inflation rate. Parity. Parity theorem. Theorem. The same as purchasing power. Purchasing power. Purchasing power. Purchasing power. Parity theorem. The same as purchasing power. Parity theorem. And I don't have to explain really anything. I don't have to explain anything. The thing that I need to come and do is to give you the formula that our F will be equal to the spot rate into 1 plus inflation of country B, all over 1 plus inflation of country C, like that. Remember, this time round, you have given me a spot rate of 118, Kenya shillings per dollar. Sasa siku moja mwanafunzi akaniambia, sikiza wanafunzi, theory za wanafunzi. Hao wanafunzi walikuwa wanaangalia zile video za kina Chuck Norris and whoever, right? Zile za no retreat, no surrender. No retreat, no surrender. So mwanafunzi ananiambia siku moja, ati mwalimu na yule country ya juu, ati lazima ni superpower, ati ndio shida nyingine vita, ati ya juu lazima ni superpower. Ati in that case here that the numerator country will be the US. Amuza kwa ni US, ati US ni superpower. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Unaangalia expression ya currencies in the exchange rate. So in the exchange rate, what do we have here? This is like Kenya shillings over a dollar. So it means that Kenya is on top, and USA is the denominator country. So it means that inflation of country B in this case here is Kenya. B is Kenya, and the C in this case here is the US. C is the US, right? So could you kindly come and try to plug in, and then we see. So the S here is 118 into 1 plus inflation of country B. Inflation of country B is Kenya. I rubbed mine. Could you kindly remind us what was the inflation rate of Kenya, our beautiful country? Inflation rate of Kenya, Nancy anasema 21%, right? 21%. So this 21% is an annual figure. Always the percentage given there is an annual figure. So then could you kindly go ahead and tell me what should I do to, I should multiply it with something. I should multiply this with something. I should multiply this with something. I should multiply this with something. Times 4 over what here, somebody? Times 4 over 12. All over 1 plus interest rate, not interest, but inflation rate of the US. 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 Inflation rate of the US, which is what here? 5%. So 0.05 times 4 over 12. So I would want you guys to do me a favor. I would want you guys to do me a favor. Do me a favor, do me a favor, do me a favor, do me a favor, and give me the numerator. The numerator, what do we have there? The numerator will be 118 times, what do we have here? Somebody 1 plus 0.21 times 4 over 12. So this gives me 1.07. 1.07 all over. How about the denominator now? All over the denominator, which is 1.02, like that. And then with a student, I know how students confused. You get students telling you that juu weka 118, pia chini weka 118. Haita haiwezi make. Namba yote ikiwa imeandikwa hivi, inamaanisha hii ni 118 over 1. So in short, you're supposed to take 118 times 1.07 divided by 1 times 1.02. Right? Right? You know, okay, I'll explain that. So I don't know whether it's charity to ask this question, whether we should have these 118 and 118 here. Right? You just get your calculator and mention there 118 times 1.07 divided by 1. What here? 1.02 divided by 1.02 divided by 1.02, which will give us 124.2. 124.2. 124.2. So 124.2 who? 124.19. 124.19. 124.19. James Kia. 124.19. 124.19. 124.19. 124.19 Kenya shillings per US dollar. Kenya shillings per US dollar. All right. Now, after that, please go ahead and exchange for us. 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 So the exchange rate forward is 124.19. Kenya shillings equals $1. How about this jalopy. These are jalopy. Jalopy that Lucy Allen wants to buy, which is worth $60,000 US. So you cross multiply, what figure are we going to get at the end of the day? What figure are we going to get at the end of the day? What figure are we going to get at the end of the day? What figure shall we get at the end of the day? 74. Most of them are not giving me answers. I can't work with only one student. It means either we are very wrong, given the questions that I'm seeing students raising up there, we could be very wrong. 74, 51, 400 or 410 years. 74, 74, 51, 51, 74, 51, 400, case. Case. 50, 74, 51, 400, case. 123.7, 123.7. Okay, 74, 409. 409 is still okay. 410, it's okay, like that. 123. What? You got 123 as well. Carol also got 123. So you know me, I'm working with the answers you guys are giving me, really. I'm working with the answers that you guys are giving me. I'm working with the answers that you guys are giving me. Same here, me too. So it means that this answer is not correct. Just try. Please don't use the figures you have in your calculators. Don't use the figures that you have in your calculators. Right? You know, if somebody, for example, makes use of 1.017 down here, they'll end up getting what are different answers slightly. So I'll not rub this. I'll take this to be gospel truth, just like whatever answer you guys have. Yeah, the most important is what here somebody is the concept. Is a concept. So please allow Mwalimu here to go back a little bit, and answer some questions. So I don't know whether up to here there are some students who have been able to pick something. I know there could be a problem with rounding off errors, but in terms of the concept, are we at home? In terms of the concept, no, it's concept keeps I'm looking at. I agree your figure is correct, but in terms of concept, I'm being told this 123, but in terms of the concept here really is okay. Now, one thing that has made me get surprised a little bit, students are still asking, why did we use 118 and not 117? Is there somebody who can help me answer that? Why did we use 118 and not 117? Remember, we had two of them. Why did we choose to use 118? Can somebody help me answer that? Buy, sell, I like what Nancy is telling me. It's a payable, it was arranged. The role of the bank is to sell. So use the selling rate, which is 118. Use the selling rate, which is 118. Use the selling rate, which is 118. You have to sell because it's importing and the bank will sell. So you're using the selling rate, which is 118. I don't know whether I've been able to answer all your questions. You know, today you guys are quite active. You can see how many, yeah, they really, Emily M loves a foreign boyfriend, which is okay. Consolata Muindi, I've seen your face today. I've seen your face. We buy foreign currency from the bank. Matthew, please never ever start making those arguments. We don't want to know what the investor does. We want to know the role of the bank. That one will bring confusion. That will bring confusion. Great. Yeah, slowly, Lillian. You can't cover those things, Lillian, all of them at the same time. And again, I'm the driver here. Don't worry. I'm the driver here. I am the driver here. Now, I would want to give you a question from the past paper. I don't know why Lillian does not want me to do a question from the past paper. This Lillian lady, Perhaps she knows that this concept will not come. So Lillian, do you work for CASNEB? Do you work for CASNEB, Lillian? May 2017, May 2017, May 2017, question number 4, boy. 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 Yani ile swali ilitesa wanafunzi sana hii semester. Hii ilikuwa ni shida kubwa sana. Hii ilikuwa ni shida kubwa sana. Problem. And simply because if we look at the required, they wanted us to use the interest rate parity relationship. Yeah, May 2017, question number 4, boy. So is there somebody who has been able to get that question to put thumbs up? Put your thumbs up like this if you've been able to get that question. Where are your thumbs up? They're saying yes, because they don't know where thumbs up are. We shall overcome, right? So we are told here Biashara Limited is an import-export company based in Kenya. On 1st January 2017, the company exported coffee worth $140,000 to the United States of America on a 5-month credit. The exchange rate in the foreign market were as follows. So we have 1st January 2017, which is our spot. And then we have 31st May 2017, 102. They have given us the lending and borrowing rates in the two countries are as follows. The importer will settle the outstanding amount on the 31st May 2017. So they don't want us to use the expected exchange rate of 31st May 2017 given in note number 1 of 102. They don't want us to use that rate. They don't want us to use that rate, right? They want us to cook a new rate. They want us to calculate a new rate. So using the interest rate parity relationship, compute the expected 5-month forward exchange rate as at 31st May 2017. So can I give you 3 minutes to try doing this F thing? Let's see. This F thing, is there somebody who will be able to get it? Let's see. This F thing, is there somebody who will be able to get it? I like Macharia. She's very confident. The dad's daughter. Great. Please try. Even if you don't get it, so what? Nini mehang? Iko sawa. Iko sawa kabisa. Patrick, maybe yako kama imehang panda yako. Yes, I can now see serious answers trickling in. Like Lillian has been able to get this figure. This lady Lillian, maybe she works there. How come she's getting these figures very fast? So can I do the question In the interest of time, can I do it? Can I do the question in the interest of time? In the interest of time, can I do the question? Yes. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our F. Our F in this case here will be the spot rate into 1 plus interest country B all over 1 plus interest country C. I saw somebody was asking that during inflation rate, this should change. There is nothing which can be further from the truth like that. It can never change. Why should you take one? No. But you see in your formula, you can decide to write here C and B there. It doesn't matter. So long as you know how to define the numerator and the denominator. That is the most important thing. So like now here, somebody look at this. The spot is what here? Somebody, the spot rate given there at the beginning of the transaction, which is 1st January 2017, is 100 Kenya shillings over US dollar. So in this case here, I can see Kenya is on top. Kenya is on top. So this is Kenya all over US. So B is Kenya, numerator, C is the US like that. But now you have to be very bright. You know, this examiner, I love such examiners. They're crazy examiners. Crazy examiners. They gave you lending rate in Kenya, borrowing rate in Kenya. Lending rate in the USA, borrowing rate in the USA. So when they give me this kind of an arrangement, I must always think about this in the context of money markets. So we have here borrow, and then we have what here somebody invest. So on the context of money markets, could you kindly tell me the currency that I'm going to borrow? Who is able to tell me the currency that I'm going to borrow here? Am I going to borrow the Kenya shilling or the dollar? Or the dollar. Ah, great. These are bright students. They have known that we have exported, and because we have exported, then we shall be paid ourselves. So this is a receivable. So the question is a receivable. I'll not even think about this so much. The question is a receivable. And if it's a receivable, then it's a question of foreign boyfriend. Receivable, foreign receipt is a question of foreign boyfriend. So foreign receipt, borrow foreign. So I'm going to borrow foreign here. And the foreign between the Kenya and the US. The foreign, of course, is the US dollar. The US dollar. So I'm going to do the opposite here, invest. Here I'm going to invest now the Kenya shilling because I'll convert. So basically, I'm borrowing the US dollar. So what is the percentage interest rate of borrowing the US dollar? So borrowing the US dollar, is there somebody who can see the borrowing US dollar is how much? Borrowing the US dollar, is there somebody who can see it's how much? Borrowing the US dollar, somebody tells me that the US dollar borrowing is 15% there. How about investing the Kenya shilling? Investing, because I've been investing the Kenya shilling there. How about investing the Kenya shilling? Investing is the same as lending. Investing the Kenya shilling is what here somebody is 18. So this one here, I should use 18 here, 18% there. Now listen, my good students here, then what this would mean is that my F will be the spot rate into 1 plus interest rate in Kenya is 0.18. But remember that this has to be time prorated. This has to be time prorated because 18% is an annual thing. All over 1 plus interest in the US, which is 0.15 times 5 over 12, like that. So S, by the way, I have S. S is 100. S is 100. So then could you kindly go ahead and give me 100 here times, open brackets, open brackets, open brackets, and give me the numerator. Give me the numerator value. Give me the numerator value. Tell me in this case here, what will I get at the end of the day? What will I get at the end of the day? What will I get at the end of the day? In the numerator, what shall I be getting? In the numerator, what shall I be getting? 1075. So 1075, put a decimal there, all over the denominator. Denominator, what figure do we have here in the denominator? In the denominator, what figure do we have here? In the denominator, we have 10,625. So we have 10,625, decimal there. And then, ladies and gentlemen, please, could you kindly go ahead and now give me the final answer? Go ahead and give me the final answer. Go ahead and give me the final answer, which was required in part 1. which was required in part 1. So the final answer, what figures are they getting? The final answer, what figures are they getting? 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 What figure are they getting? The final answer is 101.18. Please don't be rounding off to 101.18. 101.18. So 101.18, are they cows? What are these? Are they cows? Are they cows? What are these? 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 Kenya shillings per what year? Per US dollar. Kenya shillings per US dollar. Thank you very much. That is what was required, ladies and gentlemen, of us in part 1. That is what was required of us in part 1. So in an exam, would have you gotten that question really correctly? Be very honest with me. Be very honest with me. Yeah, Nancy, no. To Max, yes. Wow, Gordon, yes. Okay, great. Yes, no. Thank you so much. So don't forget that after this, yes, I love that. So don't forget that tomorrow early morning, I'll be coming in live. I'll be coming in live at exactly I'll be coming in live at exactly 5. So a student is asking here, why are we using 100 instead of 102? What will you answer? What answer will you give that student? Why are we using 100 as a spot rate? Why use 100 as the spot rate? Not because it is a receipt, no. You know, spot means today. When we have entered into a contract, today. The 102 there is supposed to be a forward rate, which this examiner told you, no, don't use now. That one, calculate you as a fresh. Yeah. 102 is 5 months from today. It's supposed to be a forward rate, which the examiner told you, like that. I hope you've been answered by these students nicely. The contract, we began the contract, ladies and gentlemen, here in 1st of January 2017. Thank you so much. So now I expect you guys before tomorrow morning, you do Roman 2 and make sure that your devices, a device Biashara Limited, on which is the better hedging strategy between a forward contract and a money market hedge. Please ensure that you are able to do that very well before we meet